Hi, welcome to Darth Dragon Does Math. We are doing adding integers, which an integer is just a number. So we're adding numbers. Welcome back to elementary school. But here's the thing: we're doing adding, but with negatives as well. So I guess it is a little bit different. So, anyways, let's start out. 2 plus 3. I feel like it would be insulting of me to act like this one's truly difficult. So we're just going to say, well, 2 plus 3 is 5. And everybody agrees with that, I'm sure. Now here, this is negative 2 plus negative 3. So that's a little bit different. There's two negatives here. So I'm here to tell you that something that's nice when you have two integers that have the same sign. So we have a negative 2 and a negative 3. Those literally just add together like any other number. So this is actually just negative 5. Now, one way to think about that is if we start at 0 and we go back negative 2 we're on a number line, so this is negative 2, and then we go back negative 3 more. 1, 2, 3, we would get to negative 5 because there's 5 little dips right there. So this works the same way. Negative 14 plus negative 19, well, we have 14 and negative 19. We can think about that as 14 plus 19. So 4 plus 9, 3, carry the 1, this becomes 33. But it's a negative, so the answer would be negative 33. If you hear some lovely music, Miss Reynolds is playing it next door. Sorry. Alright. One more question on this page. We have positive 5 minus 5. So this is like if I were to start at a number line. If I were to go positive 5 and then go negative 5. So come all the way back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're back at 0. So this answer is just 0. Now, one thing that you'll notice is the plus sign is just there to be there in a way. It is important, but not always. You can kind of ignore it and just think of this as 5 minus 5, and maybe then it's a little bit more obvious why the answer is, in fact, 0. Here, if I have a waffle, the temperature of a frozen waffle is negative 8 degrees Fahrenheit straight out of the deep freezer. After 10 minutes in the toaster, its temperature rises 80 degrees. What's the current temperature? So we have, it was negative 8 degrees. It rises 80 degrees. So we start with negative 8. Rise means that it's going up, so that's a positive, plus 80. So negative 8 plus 80, that may look weird, and I understand that. So one thing that's really nice is that you don't have to do it in this order. You could do 80 minus 8. And I believe this is the commutative property. So 80 minus 8 makes a lot more sense. Well, that's 72 degrees. So basically, whatever order two things are happening in, you can switch it. Now, this one, I have negative 12 plus 6. That's a little weird because the bigger one's on top, but the smaller one is positive. So basically, I'm taking more from what I have. If I have 6, I subtract 12. The way I think about any question that has two signs that are not the same, so we have a negative, we have a positive, is I think about them as a subtraction problem, and I'm always going to subtract the smaller one from the bigger one because that's how I think, how most of us think. But remember that the larger of the two numbers, negative 12, was negative, so the actual answer is going to be negative. So another example would be something like negative 32 plus, I don't know, 9. So if I had this, I would do 32 minus 9, which is 23. But since the larger of the two numbers was negative, I'll give it a subtraction. The answer is actually negative 23, and I hope that makes sense. Padawans for you. And yeah, let's do a few more practice. So if I said negative 9 plus 2 plus negative 3, so now we're getting into more complex. I've got three numbers. So what I always do is I make a column for negatives and a column for positives. And that helps me when I'm doing calculations. What I mean by that is if I put negative 9 over here, negative 3 over here, and then I put 2 over here. So I'm still going to combine all of these numbers. But like the first page where if I'm basically making it a little simpler. I'm doing one problem with whatever has 2, and then I'm going to do another problem when I combine everything together. If they're the same sign, they just add like normal. This would be like 9 plus 3, which is negative 12. Now my problem becomes negative 12 plus 2. Remember, it's opposites. If I have a larger number that's negative, I'm still going to subtract minus 2. That gives me 10. But because the negative 12 was larger, this is also negative. One of the reasons is it's working that way, and I'll just write on the back of something here. You don't have to copy this. If I have negative 12 and positive 2, so negative 12 plus 2, think of it as 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These open circles are going to be negatives, and then I have 2 black circles which are positives. When you combine a negative with a positive, it goes away. Basically, that's the same thing as plus 1 minus 1. So if I put this in here, they cancel out. If I put this in here, they cancel out. So that goes away, and I'm left with this over here, which is 10 negatives. Now, the reason that we want to be able to do it on paper is because if I do something like this, where my negatives are negative 17 and negative 33, and my positives are 40, I don't want to draw 40 plus dots. So, but anyways, I combine my negatives first. Remember, this is just like adding because it's the same sign. 17 plus 33. 17 plus 33 is equal to negative 50. So now I'm doing negative 50 plus 40, or if we 50 minus 40, which is 10. But since negative, what's the larger of the two numbers? It's negative 10. Hope that makes sense. The water level of a river. The water level of a river over the course of 3 weeks changes dramatically. It falls 5 feet, rises 9 feet, then falls another 3 feet. Overall, how far does the water level rise or fall? So let's say it starts at 0. Over the course of 3 weeks, it falls 5 feet. So we start at 0, then we go down 5, rises 9 feet, so plus 9, then falls another 3. How far does the water level rise or fall? So again, we can say negative 5 minus 3, and then we have positive 9. So we're going to combine these two and get negative 8. Negative 8 plus 9, that's like 9 minus 8, which is 1. So the water level rises 1 foot. And I forgot to answer my waffle problem with a sentence. That is a no-no. So the temperature of a frozen waffle is negative 8 degrees Fahrenheit straight out of the oven. or excuse me, out of the deep freezer after 10 minutes. In the toaster, the temperature rises 80 degrees. What is the current temperature? The current temperature is 72 degrees. All right. Sorry. Had to fix that. Anyways, have a good day.